All right. So I've been back from San Diego for a few days now, and this is my first chance that I've had to really sit down and think about what I saw, what I experienced during the fully charged live show featuring Aptera and some other brands. Yeah, it was a very, very fun experience. I got to meet quite a few people, got to check out the Aptera team, and as well as the Gamma. If you stick to the end of the video, I'm going to add a little bonus in there. It's some shots that I took of the Aptera, and just a little project that I would like to do. This one, I kind of took the shots very quickly because honestly, I felt I felt like I was being kind of intrusive. I was around the vehicle a lot, and there were a lot of people that wanted to see it. So I tried to take some shots of the interior very quickly, and I put together something for anyone that was not able to go to the fully charged live show. If you wanted to virtually experience the Aptera, I'm gonna have a way for you to do so. All right, so I gotta tell you, it was very exciting. The first thing that I noticed is I walked around the entire facility, the entire convention center, and by far, at least the multiple times more than any other booths, Aptera was the most popular, was the busiest booth, both on Saturday as well as on Sunday. And what I found super interesting was the enthusiasm that people had for Aptera. Really, honestly, that was the main thing that I noticed out of it, everything else. To be honest, like when I went there as a fan of the company, not necessarily as a YouTuber. I did bring my cameras. I did take some shots, but really I just wanted to kind of geek out, and I definitely did that. I really enjoyed myself, just checking out the vehicle, talking to the people there, and just kind of getting their views on their thoughts on what's happening with Aptera. So let's go first with the car itself. What I noticed is, again, the build is pretty decent. It's a pretty good build. But what I've noticed, what I think is happening right now is Aptera is sourcing a lot of parts. So even though the Gamma is the design intent for the vehicle, I don't think all the parts are have been fully picked. And so basically, my understanding of what Aptera is doing is they're trying to use their goal is basically to focus on the aerodynamic aspect of the car. So the actual physical design of the car is their primary concern. And then from there, the parts integrations to facilitate a very efficient car is the next step. However, I don't see Aptera as being focused on building their own parts at the moment, at least. So because of that, they have to source pretty much every part that's going to go into the vehicle. So they're not being manufactured to, again, this is my understanding. The parts are not being manufactured necessarily to fit the Aptera's specs, as Aptera for the most part is looking for available parts on the market that they could just add to the vehicle, at least for the first variation of Aptera. So because of that, it's hard for them to nail down what the final version will be. So until they've secured the contracts for all the parts that they're going to need, at least over the next year or two, we're not really going to know what the final design really or the final specifications will be for the vehicle. It's going to be pretty close to what they've envisioned, but things will change. But a couple of things that really got me excited. So as far as whether or not the car will be produced, honestly, having talked to the people there, having talked to the team there, I'm pretty confident. Haven't seen the Gamma in person. I'm pretty confident that the vehicle is going to be produced. So Aptera will be produced, and I do think it'll launch. Actually, I was watching on my way home this morning from work. I work a lot of overnights just because I work in logistics. On my way home this morning, I was watching a video from Aptera Owners Club. It was a panel video, basically. He had a bunch of people that went to the show. They were discussing different things. And one of the questions that came up was what the production schedule is going to be. So basically, when can we expect to have Aptera delivered? And this was one of the questions that I asked the assembly lead, I believe he was, Ahmed. And basically, he's in charge of making sure the vehicle gets built and brought to market. So that's his purpose is basically to bring everything together, make sure this vehicle gets built and delivered to customers as quickly as possible. Now, he told me he couldn't really talk about the timeline for when we can expect Aptera to be delivered. However, what I did is I basically I kind of guessed what I thought. I just kind of gave him my best guess as to what I think will happen, and he didn't outright confirm. He didn't outright confirm what I said, but it seemed that he was kind of nodding in agreement. So I don't know for sure if this is what the production timeline is, and I don't want to say that he's confirming what I think the production timeline is, but I'm just going to add this little clip of the interaction that we had regarding this, so maybe it's useful for everybody else.
Now I'm doing vehicle program management.
Okay.
So I'm responsible for launching the vehicle.
Are you on target for having the first delivery for this year, or would you say maybe a little bit later?
So
are you able to talk about that?
I'm not able to talk about that. It is my job, but
right.
So I know a lot about it, but unfortunately I'm not able to share a ton of information.
My
there.
guess, can I give you my guess?
You can give me a guess. Sure.
I think you guys will have Delta ready by Christmas, and I think production will actually happen sometime before spring. That's my guess.
Interesting. That's I think that. So right now we're laser focused on wrapping up our Delta design, getting that to be where we want it to be, as well as doing some of the validation and all of that. Like when you're building a vehicle, and especially one that you want to last, decades, and you want it to be robust, you got to do a lot of testing. You got to make sure you're validating your design, all that. So we're laser focused right now on that, and we have a really good supply chain team that's working on sourcing all the equipment and all the parts that go into this vehicle. So unfortunately, I think that's all I can share on that. But
all right, yeah. So that's what I think basically is going on as far as the production timeline. To emphasize, I really believe that the reason why the timeline has been delayed is because Aptera has to first secure all these parts. I've been in manufacturing. I've done some manufacturing, worked in logistics for manufacturing, and it's hard to put something into production until you've lined up, whatever the timeline is, your time horizon is, until you've lined up, until you've secured the parts that you need. It's really tough to commit to manufacturing, because what's going to happen is you need to get all the tools that you're going to need to build a vehicle. So you need to know which tools you'll need. Therefore, you need to know which parts you're going to have. All right. And the other part is you're going to need to hire a lot of people to start doing this production. And you don't want to hire a bunch of people and they're ready to go, and you don't have the parts necessary to build out the number of vehicles that you're expecting to deliver for whatever the time frame is. You look at what's going on at Rivian, look at what's going on at Lucid. In their case, it may not be a parts issue. It may just be a process issue that they're having. But I don't think Aptera is going to really have many process issues. I think those will get ironed out fairly quickly. But I do think they are going to have a parts issue. Again, because they're not developing their own parts. Well, I don't know what the relationships are with these different manufacturers, these different OEMs, manufacturers that are building these parts. I don't know what their relationships are. So to kind of put it in short, I believe that the Delta variation. So once the Delta comes out, that's when I think Aptera will be ready to announce the timeline for deliveries. Okay, because the Delta variant will be the Aptera with all the parts that they're expecting to have in it at the time of delivery to customers. So this will be the final production version. This is what's going to be going in the lines. Once Aptera shows us the Delta, I'm fairly sure at that around the same time frame, they'll also give us a timeline for expected vehicle delivery. Now, of course, once they have the Delta, they're going to build multiple variations and run them through different tests. So the timeline might be delayed if they have any negative results on some of the tests. But at this point, I'm fairly sure that that's more or less what we're looking at. Yeah, so that's where I am as far as my thoughts on Aptera. It was a fantastic show. I'm even more enthusiastic about the vehicle now than I was before. Something that I don't hear enough about is the people at Aptera. I mean, I know they have this series where they kind of highlight different employees and what they do at the company. But on the YouTube side, I think yeah, definitely I would like to see more content about, the people at Aptera, because I could tell you that having had a chance to kind of hang out with them for a little bit, man, the passion they have for the company and for what they're doing is extremely infectious. Like I really I felt extremely welcomed by them. Chris was amazing. Like he was super friendly to everybody. And he tried to answer as many questions as he possibly could. He went well above and beyond as far as I can tell. And the rest of the team, obviously you could see that they were super excited too. There's a lot like there, when you talk to them, they were smiling, but they can't really talk about, too much. It's too early to talk about a lot of this stuff, I guess. Right. So, but it was still very nice to see and very nice to interact with them. And I'm telling you, like, I feel like they have some of the greatest people, some of the most passionate people. They really feel deeply about the company, and that gave me more confidence in what I'm expecting out of Aptera. I think they're gonna do fantastically. Yeah, so yeah, kudos on Aptera for getting such wonderful people. And as they get closer to production, I hope that they're gonna maintain that focus. Being that they're going to be doing a lot of mass hiring, I'm hoping that they'll be able to maintain that focus and get high quality people that are enthusiastic about what the mission of the company is, and keep driving in that direction. Because I think the people are the lifeblood of at least this project. It seems to be that there's a lot of passion, not only from the fans out there, because God knows there's a lot of passion. From what I saw, there was a ton of passion about the vehicle, but definitely from the inside, from the employees. They're not just there, punching the clock. They're there to make this vehicle happen and give the best customer experience possible. So I'm looking forward to being a customer of theirs for sure. And really, I'm not concerned about whether or not Aptera will go into production. I think that will happen once we have the Delta timeline, once we have the Delta delivered. So that's not really a concern of mine. What I was pleasantly surprised by is the enthusiasm of the people, the enthusiasm of the crowd. It's hard to explain, but for those 2 days, I didn't talk to a single person that gave me a negative feedback as far as the negative experience of the vehicle. No one had any issues with the design. I didn't speak with anyone that had any issues with the seating as far as comfort wise. The steering, actually, I really like the steering. I think it's actually pretty interesting. It gives you better visibility on the instrument cluster for sure. Not only that, but aesthetically, it's super cool. It looks very nice. It feels very nice to the touch. If I remember correctly, it had a kind of like a fabric feel to it. And I thought it was interesting. I really, I liked it personally. Thank you so much for sticking this far into the video. So as a little bonus, I've included in the description below, it's a little AR VR experience. If you have an Oculus Quest or one of these VR headsets, or if you have a Google Cardboard, so one of these generic cardboard type viewers that are available on Amazon for pretty cheap. I'll put some link in the description below, so in case you guys want to, if you don't have a Oculus already and you don't have any kind of other VR headsets, I'll put some links to Amazon so you can get some cheap ones, maybe under $30, so you can experience the Aptera. Basically, what I did is I took some 360 photos of the interior. You'll be able to, kind of sit in the Aptera, be in the driver's position, get in the passenger position, see the car from the trunk, and also seeing it from the exterior, from all the sides, from the driver's side, passenger side, front and rear. So it's a very basic, kind of like a virtual tour of the car. So that way you can get an idea of what it's like to be on the inside of the Aptera and what the car looks like up close. So I hope you guys enjoy that. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye-bye.